Hello everyone and welcome to another corner tutorial. This one is going to be project based and we will be looking at a automotive visualization from start to finish. We will be starting with just one both car asset, car model, and a set of HDRI with backplates. And our result should be few nice pictures, final renders of car on the backplates. So this tutorial will be divided into 5 parts, and this is the first part where we will take a look, we will overview the project and we will inspect the source files. The next part we will be cleaning up and preparing the car model. Then we will shade the car, then we will set up HDR lighting and backplate integration, and we will output our final images, and in the last part we will conclude what we went over in this tutorial. Okay, so with that done, let's get started. First of all, I'm going to show you where to get the assets we will be using here, or any other assets you want. Then that means the car model as well as the HDR and backplates. So probably the best website to get any model you want is TurboSquid. It's the largest library of stock model for sale. And I chose this Porsche Panamera Turbo 2017 model, and it's by Square. Square is one of the famous TurboSquid users who has lots of car models, and you will definitely find a lot of cars you will like here, and it's also for a reasonable price. For the HDR and backplates, I'm using HDRmaps.com, which is awesome library of stock HDR maps with corresponding backplates, and they are priced very reasonably. So I would suggest this site for any kind of HDR and backplate environments. And from this site I've chosen the parking at the railway station HDRI with backplates. It's nice, interesting environment, a bit rustic, but kind of not just regular road, so it could be something interesting to look at. Okay, so I've bought a car, I've bought a set of HDR and backplates, and what I've received are just 2 archives. So we will now go over them and just unpack them and sort them for some organization. So let's just extract this right here, get rid of this, extract this here as well, and get rid of it. So once we get here, we have just a bunch of textures. We have some lens flare file, which we will probably not be needing. That's something probably for the studio scene, so let's get rid of it. Softbox as well, we won't be needing that, so let's get rid of it too. And what else we have here? Okay, so there's base shape editable parts, won't be needing that, so let's get rid of it. For some reason my delete key is not working. Okay, let's see. Anyway, we'll be using just the high poly one, so get rid of this. Okay, then get rid of this, and studio, we don't want that either. Okay, so now we have just one model and the textures. So all of these will go here, and that is it for sorting the car. So let's call it car model, and let's call this HDRI plates. Okay, so there's just to kind of clean it up, we don't need these, don't need license for now, don't need IBL file. This is JPEG, Don't need that. Don't need this one either. What is SIBL? We don't need that. README? Okay. Let's just go over this. There's no info about camera, so let's just get rid of this. This is tiny, 148 kilobytes, and reflection map. Let's get rid of this as well. Okay, so there's our 20K JPEG. And there's some large HDRI maps, so these are the ones we want. Let's delete this, and there's backplates with all the camera info. That's amazing. So let's keep this name backplates, and this is gonna be our HDRI. And this one, let's keep it for reference, even though it's not the HDR one. So yeah, that's it for the sorting. One more thing I'm gonna do is I always like to have smaller version of the HDR map to use first, because it increases the interactivity of the 3ds Max, not necessarily Corona, but 3ds Max. It loads a bit faster, so I usually then swap it with the full resolution one before doing final render. Okay, so we have this one, which is 20K, and let's go to image size, and let's make it just 8K. Okay, this is it. Save as. And usually when you're saving HDR maps from Photoshop, sometimes they are saved in HDR formats, and some of the Photoshop versions have a bug where saving to HDR format will ruin the dynamic range. So when resaving HDR maps, always it's better, more fail-safe to save them as .exr file. So just call this HDRI small, save it, close this up. Okay, so we have car model, which is one max file with textures. We have HDRI, which is two versions of HDR, one small. We have JPEG for reference. We have backplates. So this is our clean start, and in next part we will clean up the car model itself. So see you then.